Hey team, happy Monday. I hope you're feeling awesome. We're going to be talking about nutrition today. The reason why I feel like we need to come back over these basics is I'm receiving lots of messages around what's the best way for me to lose body fat? How can I follow a diet that will help to get me to my results faster? Everyone wants the results yesterday, but if you know me, which you should by now, you'll realize that the way that I teach things is to invest into your future health. Invest into the dividends, put dividends into your future health. Let's not run before we can walk. Let's make lifelong changes so that when you get to 80 years old, you're still mobile, you're still healthy, and you're still able to do the things that you love. Nutrition is a really complex topic, and it is made overly complex by lots of people on Instagram and all these doctors and people who say that they know what they're talking about. It is actually simple, and I'm going to simplify it for you right down today. When we look at our nutrition, we're looking at everything that we drink and everything that we eat. And when we're wanting to make some changes, we need to make the changes for other reasons other than fat loss. To begin, fat loss will happen as a byproduct of the changes that you make, but it cannot be the only reason. So think about if you're healthier, if you've got more energy, if you are feeling better in your skin, who else is going to benefit? The people in your business, your children, your partner, your friends. Whoever in your life will benefit from you being a more energetic and well individual. So let's focus on those and zoom out a little bit and look into a year from now. If you apply these hacks I'm going to show you today, how will life be different? How will you be different? And we can still, as I always say, we can still get you in incredible shape, but we just need to flip the outcome a little bit. We need to make sure the driving force is not primarily weight loss, okay? So the first thing that I would look at doing is firstly get some awareness around your food. Awareness is a bit of a hippie word really, but just become aware, just become conscious of your eating habits. Okay, so what time are you having breakfast? Are you hungry when you're having breakfast? Are you skipping it so that you can eat all your calories later? What about lunch? Are you having a snack before lunch? What are you having for lunch? Are you preparing it? Are you making sure it's well nourishing? Then are you having snacks in the afternoon? What time are you having your evening meal? Are you getting through the door absolutely ravenous and you're actually picking at little bits in the house before you have your dinner in the evening? And then are you sitting down with some Maltesers and watching Love Island with a glass of wine? None of this is right or wrong, okay? I just want you to become a little curious kitten, get your magnifying glass out, become a curious kitten and look at what you're eating, become aware of it. Because then what we can do is go, right, how many portions of fruit and vegetables am I having per day? On a good day, 2. Some days, none. All right. So can we get that to consistently 2? That's your first thing. Wherever you're at, get consistency. Monday to Sunday, not Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday. And this is what I mean when I say it's going to be a bit of a slow process. But when you look back, because you can't connect the dots forwards, okay? We can only connect the dots backwards. So we want to just make these tiny little changes, knowing that we're putting dividends into our future health, our energy, and how we're showing up as an individual to the world. So wherever you're at, we're going to aim for the top end. So it could be that you're currently getting some days 3, but on other days, none. So we're going to aim for the top end and make that consistent with the fruit and vegetable intake. Okay, that's the first step. What you're then going to do, once that 3 is consistent, we're then going to build to 4. Once the 4 is consistent, we're then going to build to 5. Once we're at 5, that's okay. Okay, it's not the optimal. We should be going right up towards 8 to 10, but don't worry about that. So we want to go, once we're at the 5, let's make sure that that's consistent and it's happening pretty much every single day. Obviously, there'll be some days where you just don't have any, and that's okay, but that should be like maybe once a month that you have a day off, or like, and not even a day off intentionally, but maybe you're out and the resources that you've got access to just aren't right, and that's okay. Give yourself a break there. Once we've got the fruit and vegetables in place, and that is consistent, and if you're the busy type of female that I work with, that will be enough of a challenge for you to build up to, okay? We then start looking at your hydration. What are you drinking throughout the day? Coffee first thing, coffee throughout the day, cup of tea maybe. Then it could be maybe a pint of squash when you get in, and then a glass of wine. Okay, so we don't really have much water coming in. So we're going to start the day once we've got the fruit and vegetables in place, because they are going to be a great way to build your energy levels, improve your hair, skin, and nails, and basically get you feeling good. Digestion, like there are so many benefits of eating vegetables. Okay, so we want to keep those locked in because they are like the biggest return on investment, if you like, in regards to the time and effort that you're putting in. So what we want to do then is look at the water. Start with 1 cup per day. Start with a cup before your morning coffee, 250 ml, however many ml, I don't actually care. Just start with that one. Once we've got that locked in, we can then go with 1 before lunch as well. Once we've got that locked in, we can then go with 1 before the evening meal. And then once we've got that locked in, we can then start to look at the amounts. And we obviously want to build up towards the 2 litre side of things. But can you see how, you know, for you to make that morning cup of water locked in, it might take you up to 2 weeks to get that habit ingrained. How I would do it is I always get my coffee mug ready anyway, and I just put a glass of water, an empty glass next to it, and it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me. So when I'm setting up the night before, coffee mug is there and a cup is ready. Okay, so then whilst my coffee's making, I will then fill up the water and have a glass. But please allow yourself time to make these changes and let them be incremental. People mess themselves up when they go into, oh, I need 2 litres, therefore I'm going to go from 0 to hero. That's not how we roll here. Okay, so slow changes. Once we have got the 5 a day coming in and at least 3 cups of water a day, ideally up to the 2 litre. Once we've got those in, we can then start to look at protein. So protein is things like any sources of meat and fish, beans and pulses, eggs, some sorts of cheese. There's protein bars, protein shakes. There are so many different things. And there are also meat substitutes for you veggies and vegans as well. There are so many, and all you need to do is Google it, all right? Protein is not this weird and wonderful thing. It's like very, very present, okay? So what we want to do is look at where are we getting the protein in currently. My guess would be it's probably in the evening meal that you're maybe having. It could be lasagna, so there'll be some protein in the mincemeat. It could be that you have meat and veg, obviously it'll be in the meat. It could be that you have chicken fajitas, it'll be in the chicken. So we need to look, first of all, where is the protein coming in? Because once we know that, we're like, right, that meal has already got protein. So now I want to add it to either my breakfast or my lunch. Which one? Probably be easier to add it to your lunch to begin. Get that into a habit, make sure it's happening every single day along with the evening meal. So now we've got 2 portions of protein coming in per day. Once that's locked in after 2 to 3 weeks, we can then add it to breakfast. It could be things like yogurt. Okay, so total 0% yogurt is absolutely incredible. You've also got things like skyr. If you don't like yogurts, you can make porridge and put a scoop of protein powder into it. You can have eggs for breakfast with a bit of smoked salmon is always a good thing to do. So there are so many different ways, but we've got to go incrementally. Once you've done that, you then might want to add in a protein snack. So ideally, we want to be getting 4 portions of protein per day. Okay, so it could be a protein bar, protein shake. You could have some hard-boiled eggs. There are so many different things that you can do, and they might not be the kind of conventional idea of what you would normally call a snack, and that's okay. Remember, this is your life. You do things in your way. What we do from there, so we've got 5 fruit and veg coming in, we've got a decent amount of water, we're getting 3 to 4 portions of protein. We then want to start look at reducing. Okay, and this should have actually have happened by default, because all we've done so far is added. You then would hopefully start to naturally, by default, reduce the processed foods. So we're talking about heavily processed foods here. Okay, so just have a look around at things that you're eating that may be not the most healthy for you, and look at other alternatives. Chocolate bars, refined sugar. It could be even things like pasta, but even just like, and again, these are not bad foods, but if we want to optimize our health, we need to look at maybe just making some savvy little swaps. Okay, so that'll be something for you to go into and have a look at what feels right for you and what works with your family as well. So maybe then starting to go, right, this is my current refined, I don't know, like high sugar, high fat dish, if you like, maybe we can swap one ingredient out. Maybe we can make it, I don't know, just looking at those tiny little swaps that we can make. And I've put here savvy swaps is what we're after. Once you've got all of that in, okay, so we've taken out a little bit of the refined sugar, we've started to make some savvy swaps around the highly processed foods, we can then look at your calories. Okay, but it's not until you've got the low-hanging fruit of all of these things until you're ready to look at your calories. Okay, a lot of people rush straight into MyFitnessPal. You actually don't even need to go down the route of MyFitnessPal of like calorie tracking and counting. You can just look at going down the route of more savvy swaps. So, for example, you might have rice 3 nights a week. If you're looking to lose body fat, once you've got the kind of optimization phase done, which is what we've just talked about, you could then look into swapping the rice for cauliflower rice. You could be looking at swapping, big chunky white bread for maybe a couple of thins. You could look at reducing the amount of oats. Say if you currently have 50 grams of oats every morning, you could drop that to 30, but then add some total 0% yogurt to kind of beef it out a bit, or even some extra berries and stuff. So there are all these little savvy swaps that don't need to take up too much bandwidth. Maybe you're currently drinking 2 glasses of red wine every evening. Can we tap it down to 1 and something else that you've like? So I absolutely love, call me a geek or whatever, but I love flavored sparkling water. I absolutely love it. I don't like what's it called, just normal fizzy water. I don't know if that's got a better name. I don't like that, but if you add a bit of flavoring to it, it's a few extra calories obviously, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And that is the sort of thing that I really look forward to and could easily substitute a glass of wine. So looking at those savvy swaps is what you need to do for the very next steps. It's not about looking at big upheaval changes and massive kind of impact on your life and eating different things to your family. That is not what we're after here. Small little savvy swaps, make sure we've optimized in the very first phase. And then you want to look at, right, now I'm feeling loads better. Now I've got more energy. I'm more alert. I've got kind of less brain fog. I then want to go into the fat loss route, or maybe you're not here for fat loss and you want to go more in towards sports performance side of things and pushing things a little bit more. They are 2 very different angles. Next week, I will be covering the fat loss side of things. So make sure you tune in. And as always, guys, the only way that we're going to help more people with this podcast is if you share it, you send it to other people, you put it on your Instagram stories. So please, please, please do that. And also don't forget to request to follow the show. It just gives us a little bit more of an idea of who's listening in, who's finding it beneficial, and how we can improve. Have an incredible day. If you've got any questions, obviously my social media is open to you. We actually have a coaching club worldwide Instagram page now as well. So please go over and give that a little follow. Have an incredible day. Speak soon.